what's ultimately going to bring down the Great Reset in the grand scheme of things is the fact that Europe is not only economically a basket case, politically a bunch of stark raving lunatics who are suffused with the arrogance of the gods, okay, literally, and then, but at the same time, want to squash all dynamism, destroy the middle class because they're commies, and then think that they're going to be able to set the terms for energy import into this space, which no one actually gives a good goddamn if it survives or not anyway. The only reason any of us think have any desire to see Europe is for what people built 500 years ago. As far as most Americans are concerned, Europe's a theme park. It's just Disney World. It's a place to go and visit and go, wow, isn't that beautiful? Why can't we have nice things? We have Taco Bell. Like, when you stop and just break everything down to that level, that's where we are.
Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
Please follow me on bittube.video. You can also follow me on Odyssey. These are both censorship-resistant platforms, and every now and then I am going to post a video which isn't going to be on YouTube. Apollo have produced the ultimate hardware wallet for your cryptocurrency assets, probably the most secure hardware wallet going. Use my affiliate link and the code for a discount. The following video features selected extracts from the full video, which you can find on my Odyssey channel. It will also be up on bittube.tv and bittube.video. Links in the description below. And while you're here, please join my Telegram announcements channel. That link is also in the description below.
When you think about Nord Stream 2, Nord Stream 2 is absolutely necessary. And for the last 8 years or 10 years, the Europeans have been trying to extend the American policy of no new Russian gas pipelines into Europe, that goes back to the Kennedy administration, to use that in order to try and bind the Russians down into unprofitable long-term gas supply contracts, which they can ultimately control the price of. That will ensure that the Russians give them all the gas that Europe wants at prices that will bankrupt Russia in the long run. And they honestly think they're smart enough to believe that. Alexander, I've told you, we laughed about this the last time we were on. I'm like, look at what these people are trying to do in the financial markets. They're trying to raise the price of oil and weaken the the ruble internationally, while the Russians run a $10 to $18 billion a month trade surplus. The ruble is the most undervalued currency in the world by any rational metric. And yet, because they just believe that they can continue to do whatever they want because they're all powerful. And it's like, it's the dumbest thing imaginable. Like, we have the oil, we have the gas, and we have the missiles. What do you have?
Which is that you cannot run a centrally planned economy if you don't control the inputs. You have to control inputs in order to be able to plan the outputs. You can't achieve the one without the other.
Right.
And of course,
the Soviet Union lasted for 80 years. They had control of the inputs, right?
Inputs. And of course, the most important input of all is energy. I mean, that's what it ultimately, this whole story was about.
When they can't do it anymore. And it's going to be interesting to watch, to see how we're doing this on Saturday, to see how the escalation of anti-Macron protests rise in France, because I really do think that we're very close to a tipping point in France. When you understand that the Davos's goal is chaos and Putin's goals are stability.
Exactly.
They are natural enemies at every level.
It's a big issue for Tom. Well, it seems to me that what's happening as well is a debasement of law, because when you start creating a system in Europe or in the United States or in Britain, which is no longer founded on law, but which affects people's lives in this intimate kind of way, then that is a very dark place, and you're in a very dark position, because then you're no longer in a society which is administered via law. You're in a society which is administered through decisions made by a commissar operating from somewhere high above you.
And no lawyer I've ever heard worth his salt, even Mark Elias of Perkins Coie, would never, if actually, under oath have to argue this point, would ever say that the Supreme Court was within its jurisdictional rights to deny Texas is
Absolutely.
against Pennsylvania. No one would say that.
No.
The decision of 1925 that they based that decision on was itself unconstitutional. But DeSantis is a particular problem for them because he knows exactly what he's doing and why he's doing it. He is operating firmly within the law. The Biden administration is obviously working outside the law, doing and saying things like, oh, yeah, we know this is the CDC's eviction moratorium mandate issue. We know it's unconstitutional. We're backing them anyway. The court ruled that the rule was unconstitutional and illegal, and yet, well, we're going to go along with it anyway.
I have to say, Kavanaugh's reasoning was in that case just astonished me. What you have is a situation where property is being confiscated, because that's what it amounts to. I mean, people are not able to correct rents.
Right.
And most landowners in America are middle class people. They're not big, whatever it is. So people's property is confiscated.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It goes to the Supreme Court of the United States, and a justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. This is the Supreme Court of the United States, the world's most prestigious court, the court everybody looks at to defend constitutional propriety. I mean, it's the court everybody. In Europe, it has enormous influence. A justice, an associate justice of the Supreme Court, comes along and says, this is illegal, but I'm going to allow it anyway. I mean, it's just, I've never heard of a thing like that before. I mean, it is bizarre.
No, and
then he says, well, I'm going to allow it anyway, because, this is all coming to an end in a few weeks. And then, of course, the CDC, a body which, bear in mind, I come back to this point, what legal power does it have to make these sort of decisions? The CDC then says, well, we were only going to keep it going for a while, but now Kavanaugh's made his decision, so we're going to carry it on indefinitely.
Where do we see the cracks in the system? Well, as I've been saying for months now, I honestly believe that Wall Street ain't down with the Comintern. Okay? They're not down with it. The fight over the infrastructure bill and the crypto language within the infrastructure bill was clearly being run by Wall Street, who wants in on crypto, who has bet billions, if not trillions of dollars now on crypto, bringing mining and hashing power to the United States in order to back their investments, because it's the only place to find yield in a yield-free world. They want it. Their traditional banking system is collapsed. Traditional banking services have collapsed. What do we use banks for? We got Venmo, we got PayPal, we got all these other ways of doing second layer payment. Why do we need banks to move money for us anymore, or to hold it for us? We can hold it ourselves. We can do any of this stuff. So it's very clear that Wall Street's not down with this. They're not down with being marginalized and thrown to the Antifa wolves, the BLM wolves, the Occupy Wall Street wolves. They're not down with it. The Fed's not down with it. The Fed's not down with becoming subordinate to the European Central Bank and Christine Lagarde. Powell has been nothing but antagonistic to her since May. And
clarity.
And everything imaginable is going to be challenged by the smartest people in the world who don't work for them. The smartest people in the world do not work for us. You know who work? You know where the smartest people in the world work right now? What's the name of this channel? The smartest people in the world work in crypto. And they're all committed to something far better. They understand the fight, right? They treat us. They have understood the idea in some ways. In some ways, they take it to heart that an entire economy is nothing but tokenized energy. Taking this all the way back to what we talked about at the beginning. This is all just tokenized energy. Bitcoin is tokenized energy. Everything is. Money is tokenized energy, which is also tokenized creativity and human ingenuity. And when you destroy the incentive structure for people to be creative and ingenious, you take away the ability for a society to advance.
Yes,
and that's in the realm of ideas. It's in the realm of ideas or technology or whatever. All of these things break down to this level.
What has happened, and one of the reasons you see protests exploding, is precisely because people don't believe that anymore. They don't believe that if they go to the school or they vote in the local election or they bring a petition to their court, that they will be listened to or heeded, or that a reasoned judgment that they understand will be made to them. Now, what we're looking at, and I'm going to say this straightforwardly, is the end of the West.
Anybody's comments, questions, put them in the description below. They all make a difference. Go watch them, and subscribe to their platforms. And between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with crypto profits. This is Crypto Rich and Crypto Alex and Crypto Tom signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.